And this is not your average typical Cinderella story. And it definitely says that when you first open up this first page, and I'm going to read to you what this says. You may think you know the story I am going to tell you, but you have not heard of it for true. I was there, so I will tell you the truth of it here now. And this lady was definitely here when she's the main character. So when you're reading this, you need to pay attention to who the main characters are, and that's Cinderella and the nanny. And so this is a girl who lives by the sea, and she's a poor little girl with a poor family. Her mother dies, and she is left on her own with a wand. And this wand that's in her hand. You can only use it on somebody you love, or if somebody loves you, then it will work. And so this little girl is by herself. She's just doing odd jobs the whole time. And then she grows up. This is the girl that was at the beginning. And she has become this lady's nanny. And she takes care of the family. She helps them clean, cook, because the mother has become ill. And she had a baby to help with. And so when this mother passes away, the nanny takes care of Cinderella. And that's the baby's name, is Cinderella. But Cinderella had to obviously go home with the family. And this is the stepmother. Definitely does not like her at all. But the nanny stayed with her. She basically lives with her. She's there to show her the ways, the guidance of it. But the stepmother really, she's not your typical white, typical mean stepmom. She's a Mexican lady. The nanny is also not your typical fairy godmother. She is a nanny, and she is there to help people cook and clean, just like Cinderella would be. And so obviously Cinderella hears of the ball, and she wants to go, but the stepmother will not let her, and she's obviously mean, mad that she's not working fast enough to get ready for the ball, for help to get ready for the ball fast enough. So what does the nanny do? She is able to use the wand, because it says the wand only works if you love somebody or if they love you, and obviously she loves Cinderella like it's her own daughter. So she gets to work with the carriage, and she gets the horses, and she gets the dress. And your dress is not your typical white dress or your gold dress. It's definitely something more different. It's a blue dress with red on it. And it's definitely really pretty. And then when we get to the ball, it's your average ball: trees, plants, a staircase, food, people staring at her, wondering who she is. And the prince is so mesmerized. He just wants to get to know her right then and there. And he's obviously African American. He's in a blue suit with the white gloves. And Cinderella has just fallen for him. But the nanny's like, no, we have to get out of here because it's about to strike midnight. She drops her shoe, and her shoe's not your typical see-through white shoe. It's a red shoe with a rose on it. And so they get back, and they're just talking about how fun it was to have been seen like that, to be feeling appreciated by people. And the prince is coming to find whose shoe this was, and so Cinderella is looking. She just wants to just see, and obviously this doesn't work. It's not fitting on the daughter's shoe, it's not fitting on the mother's shoe, and he hears Cinderella upstairs, so he has to go take a look, or he tells her to come down. And when the shoe comes on, she turns into a beautiful princess once again. And they fall happily in love. Some of the illustrations through art methods, the colors, shapes, and textures and patterns, there really was no texture right here, but definitely a lot of color. I wouldn't say there's a lot of lines, kind of, but not so much. The pattern, you can definitely tell there's a pattern going on. It follows the colors, the pattern, shapes. Obviously color. A lot of space there is. You can see back here that they could have used some of that to cover it up with more trees or such. But definitely a good book to read, so I recommend it.